You've got to admit it's getting better, little better, all the time. Oh yeah, it's practically summer out now. Man, so good, so refreshing, so fly. Physically fit, physically fit. Let's get that bread. Let's do that morning roundup. Made a couple of froggy dishes over here. Little hippo dish. This messed up a little bit, but I think it came out all right. Of course, a David Bowie can. I think we actually have to print another one after this. And we've got a nice D20. And yes, the rumors are true. We are making a giant piece of bread with a thing of butter on it. Yes, the big coffee cup got done, so that's nice. Marcus Aurelius and little desk organizer. These are fun. I actually sold 2 of these. Sales do seem to be kind of going back to normal. I mean, it's only been a few days, but the last couple days were okay. Maybe a little less good than before, but enough that it's like maybe last week was kind of a fluke. Who knows, baby? Made myself a little to-do list here. This is what we're gonna try and get done today. I think I'm gonna try to design, or at least start to design, a new multi-sided dice. Actually, we're gonna get the octopus done first, but if we got time, we'll do the dice. Then we're going to move a rack, because it's time. We're gonna package some stuff. We got the brown on this done, so we're gonna tape that off and paint the rest of the cup. And last on the list, we're going to welcome to M3 is 3D. Every day I shoot a short film documenting the slice of life of the 3D printing entrepreneur. We've been in business for 6 years. This is how it all works. Also, it'd be nice to get rid of this box. We'll probably get another walk-in today as well. Dunkin' the law, Dunkin' the law. Let it go, you're mad, you got a Dunkin' thing coming. Last night I was listening to some Leonard Cohen. I'm really not that big a fan of Leonard Cohen. I don't dislike him, but it's just not the kind of thing that I would normally take the initiative to listen to. Hey, look at that. Anyway, it was this song called, I think, Chelsea Hotel No. 2 or something like that. It's kind of this really innocuous story about some woman that he spent a day with, and it kind of ends with like, I really don't think about you that often at the end. Yeah, I don't know why I was possessed to listen to it or whatever, but the ending kind of made me want to look it up, and apparently he wrote that song about Janis Joplin. Yeah, and this was released like somewhere in the 70s, so Janis Joplin was dead. And it's just, I guess the reason it struck me is because he's writing this almost sort of indifferent story about this person who died, and like the only moment that his life intersected, let's say, with her life was a fairly trivial interaction. So it's interesting because you have this story where you met like somebody who's like a legend, and the only thing you actually have left with that person is like something kind of random and trivial, but that's like the thing you remember, right? And it got me thinking about like what trivial things that I remember ended up being sort of profound, or were a placeholder for profundity or something like that. So when I first started recording music, or more accurately, when I had been recording music for 3 or 4 years or something like that, my best friend growing up and I kind of started doing very, very silly recordings. Like, we were both guitar players, we both wrote songs and stuff. You have to imagine, this is probably 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. So just recording at home was still kind of a novel thing. Like, everybody does that now, but back then it was less common. So, you know, responding to the novelty of being able to record your own music, we kind of like wrote a bunch of just very absurd songs, very, very silly songs. A couple of these I made into sort of animated YouTube videos right at the beginning of YouTube. But yeah, on the theme of like these weird little moments that become the memorable thing, he wrote this song about his mom being an alcoholic. I mean, The humor at the time was like she probably wasn't an alcoholic. It was like something we joked with her about. And maybe she was, but we didn't really think she was. I don't know. We'll never know. Yeah, we recorded this song called Musical Intervention. And it was like, I don't know how to describe it. Something between like Jack Johnson and Grateful Dead or something like that. You know, it was kind of like a freewheeling, happy sort of acoustic song that was about something incredibly dark, which was very much in line with our sense of humor at the time. I've since lost the file for this, you know, the music files, so I can't actually listen to it. It might be somewhere, but I remember every note of it and every word of it. And yeah, about a few months after that, his mom died. Him and two of his sisters, he has 3 sisters total, they were driving in Indianapolis, and somebody was driving the wrong way on an interstate because they were trying to commit suicide and ran right into their car. And his mom died instantly. He was in the hospital for like 2 months, and he was in like $1 million worth of debt or something. I guess to make a long story short, he got on opiates because he actually needed to be on opiates because he had like a bunch of surgeries, and eventually, of course, he just ended up doing heroin, and years later, as a heroin addict, he died. I've kind of told this story before, but the new wrinkle, let's say, is, you know, the only music we ever recorded together were those really absurd, silly songs. Like, we jammed all the time. We played gigs and stuff, but the only actual recorded thing that survives all of that are these like ridiculous songs. If you guys are curious about them, and write in the comments if you want a link, because I can probably find it, the YouTube videos I made out of some of them. So yeah, it just reminded me, that Leonard Cohen song reminded me a lot of that. It's just strange the things that get preserved and the things that you lose by comparison. Yep, life is a wild ride. It really is strange how random some of the things you get to keep are, and how amazing some of the things you lose are. It's a good walk, a walk to remember. Back at the shop, time to tape off the coffee, I guess is what we would say. It's been long enough. We're gonna print the other side of the hot dog. Long-time viewers remember, so that we can actually list that thing finally. We're gonna get some of the big machines rolling, and then we're going to do some of the cleaning out and rearranging of the unit next door. After that, probably a real good bit of packaging, and then whatever else we can get done. All right, let's clear some stuff out. We're gonna bring another rack in here. We're getting filament going in the meantime, and yes, we are gonna get our first scoops. Our first scoops of the new shipment. Boy, is that a good feeling. It's like the first line you write on a brand new pad of paper. Let's get it. Here we go, baby, yes. Oh, man, so good. A little more, yeah. 100% pure Colombian. I think we're gonna put these under there. Here's the rack we're gonna relocate. We put kind of a lot of the stuff from the other one on here, but we've got the couple spools of filament, the colored filament up there. And we're just gonna relocate things kind of one at a time here. If you're wondering what these are, these go under the boxes and they keep them from tipping over, because with extra heavy spools, you kind of need one of these. I think we're gonna have to move the Kurosawa poster. I think I'm saying that right. I kind of have a lot of stuff to do. I don't think we're actually gonna move the rack today, but we got everything else ready. Got the space cleared out, got all of this scrap and things off of the rack in the next room. So yeah, let's get packaging some stuff. And actually, we've got something to take pictures of as well. A couple of pork chops with the special sauce. We're gonna get pictures of the custom Triceratops. It's a little hard to see, but it's white on one side and silver on the other with a black fade underneath. Nothing better than doing a custom project and getting a whole new product out of it. Time to do the big elephant dish. Look how big that is. Van Gogh. Gold T-Rex. Golden Idol. Throw me the idol. Bob Marley. Einstein. Oh, a wastebasket. Oh yeah, we went on a walk. We are at our walk quota for the week. Couple of froggy dishes. All right, the new coffee thing is ready. Let's do the big reveal. Here we go. Yeah. It's got wall mounts, so it's really gonna look more like, we'll have to actually get it on a wall, but you know, it's a thing. It's a cool decor. We'll get pictures of this little guy tomorrow. Hippo boy. Marcus Aurelius. Einstein. So, with the cookie, we painted the chocolate chips white, and I think we're going to make this a red velvet cookie. This is a bit of a random thought, but I was just thinking about, like, why would rating systems necessarily be definitely good? As in, like, in a rating system, why would having the highest rating be necessarily the best? Now, we know kind of what the default answer would be. Like with my shop, I have a 5-star average rating, and that's preferable because obviously that means that customers are generally more happy with my products and stuff. And for a lot of things, having a higher rating probably is good, all things being considered. But I was thinking about like artistic things like movies or music or something like that. And I think there's actually some hazard in optimizing your music or your movies for getting the highest ratings possible. Meaning like, you know, IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. So real art, one of the things real art often does is it's highlighting or suggesting a very important truth. It's showing us some part of ourselves that we're ignoring maybe, or it's anticipating something that's not quite obvious yet. So if you're doing that, obviously you want people to resonate with that message, but you're probably not telling the truth if you're not pissing off a lot of people. It could be that the best art always has some substantial amount of people that are just super against it. Now, this isn't to say that the best art is characterized by a bunch of people hating it, because that's not true. But it's more like really good art is hated by the right people. Depending on who hates the art, that can be a very strong indicator of how good it is. Because good things aren't just liked and loved by good people, they're also hated by bad people. Now, obviously, one thing you would hope is that that's not going to be a very high percentage of people, but sometimes there's a significant way that society is corrupt, or there's just some significant problem with society. And so, to bring it all together, having a 100% score on something actually may be a pretty solid indicator that it's not real art, or it's not good, or it's not important. It's not addressing anything important. like with most things, if nobody hates it, it probably has very little content. So, I don't know. I was just thinking about movies and really highly rated movies and stuff. And like, you know, some movies are just entertainment, but some are trying to, every once in a while you get that movie that's trying to say something pretty profound. And there's just going to be people that hate it. So yeah, success in art isn't just about being loved by the right people. It's being hated by the wrong people. It can be a very easy thing to lose sight of, or not remember, or neglect to notice. Let's trim these up. There we go. Couple things to paint. Got the froggies. Hippo Boy's going silver. You will not see the experimental cookie. Einstein. Of course, we got the Marcus. And we're doing the Sharko. We got the Golden Boys. The Silver Boy. The Einstein Boy. Of course, Marcus Aurelius. And the Shark. Well, that's a solid day on the books right there. I about didn't get it done today, but we made the last piece for the octopus guitar hanger. It'll probably be done in the morning. So that could happen tomorrow. Feels good to have a nice pipeline full of new products just barreling down the line like a bunch of logs on a river. Oh man, what am I most grateful for today? Actually, it feels really good to get the octopus wall hanger done. Like I've said in the previous episodes, I've been trying to make some time to do that for probably a year or two since it first occurred to me. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a big hit, but it's one of those products that I have to make, if nothing else, just because I need to know whether it's going to be a hit. Because I feel like it could be. But yeah, we're still doing the thing where we're going to make a bunch of guitar wall hangers. I'm still pretty convinced I need to make probably at least 10, maybe more like 20. Just seems like there's a lot of opportunity, and it's been a big category for me in the past. There are still people on Etsy that kind of know me for that. But yeah, it was a good walk today. There's a lot of good things. The red velvet cookie, you guys will probably get to see that tomorrow. I don't pay super close attention to views on YouTube, but seems like they're going up a little bit. This channel started out really strong, then it kind of went down a bit. And I feel like it's coming back. I think people are just feeling better because it's like summer, you know, feeling a little more energetic. So on Discord, somebody was responding to the thing I said in the last episode about like whether something that's more valuable is better. This is from SC Bickle. I guess it was only a matter of time till somebody shared Maslow's hierarchy of needs with me. I'm like half remembering this, but the psychology classes I took in college, like, it feels like there was a joke going around that if you didn't know the answer to something, it's probably Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So it goes, you can see that it's got different levels. The basic level is physiological needs. We all kind of get it, like food, shelter, blah, blah, blah. Then you got safety needs. Then it's love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. Self-actualization's like finding your potential, being fulfilled, that kind of thing. So not to get into a big debate, but SC Bickle says the luxury watch sits in the esteem level and cannot be considered to have any real comparison to the food, which is a basic need. So there's a lot of criticisms out there of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I think of it as a heuristic, something that's roughly true, but it's really not like... See, here's the thing. People will forego a lot of physiological needs for something like love and belonging or something like self-esteem. See, in the pyramid, the bottom one is the physiological needs, and the idea is like each one of those needs sits on top of the other one. So you have to have this one in order to have this one, have to have this one in order to have this one, and so on. So I think it's one of those things that it's roughly true, but you can't take as something really authoritative. Think of somebody like defecting from, let's say somebody defecting from Eastern Germany into Western Germany during the Cold War. Now, there are some people that fled Eastern Germany because they were afraid of dying or something. Maybe they committed some kind of political crime and they didn't want to get rounded up by the Stasi and tortured to death or sent to the gulag or whatever. So that would be somebody seeking a physiological need primarily, and that kind of makes sense, and you know, needing that more than safety. But there just have been these people throughout history that considered other things more important than their physiological needs. I mean, a lot of the people that fought in the American Revolution that died or risked death, they were not seeking their physiological health or well-being or their life above all else. They were seeking values like freedom. They were basically seeking virtue, really, in a lot of ways, above even life and limb. Probably the biggest criticism of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is that they're all needs that relate to you. Now, S.C. Bickle isn't really saying that, he says here, the theory goes that the lower levels of the pyramid need to be fulfilled before the next level is relevant. He's not saying that's definitely true, so I'm not debating him here. But yeah, things like safety, love and belonging, esteem, self-actualization, in a lot of ways, those are selfish desires. I'm not saying they're bad things to seek, but there are people that want to value things that are beyond them, that are not just like, what do I get out of it? And so, to take the Revolutionary War example, there are people that valued the cause of liberty and freedom on earth more than they valued their lives. And when you think about people like that throughout history, we live in the world they made possible. So, you know, I guess it all depends on what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is supposed to be. I guess it's just supposed to be descriptive and not something like, hey, follow this. But I guess that's something we need to keep in mind. It might be describing something that is common, but it's not to say that this is how we should value things. It's just a lot of people do value things this way. I'll move on to some other stuff, but to take the original thing, like a luxury watch versus food, I mean, I value food more than a luxury watch. I don't own one, so that's kind of proof. But like, there's reasons, I think it's ultimately stupid, but there's reasons people seek those status symbol things. Because it's like, people will do a lot for status, man. Dudes will do a lot of stupid things to try to get laid. And it's ultimately not wise, but let's be honest, a lot of our bloodlines are here because some guys did some dumb stuff to try to get attention. Every once in a while, some of those status-seeking things are kind of awesome, like Evel Knievel jumping over things. Like, there's no reason to do that, but I mean, it was kind of awesome though. So yeah, that's my mini rant on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like I said, it can maybe describe the way a lot of people work, but don't think that that's like how things should work. All right, on YouTube, we got Richard Keyser says, do you ever think of using a shop vac to get the plastic out of the bag? Yeah, a lot of people have suggested that. See, like where they place the pallet, it's kind of hard to get that to the bins. I would have to have a really long hose or something, and I don't know if I can get one. I mean, maybe there's some custom place that makes really long hoses for shop vacs. I don't know how I'd find out if it's the right size. I guess it's sort of worth looking into, but that's how like a lot of professionals do it in the plastics industry. That's probably why they're saying that. Oh yeah, Godson 760 basically said the exact same thing. Fierce Wolf says, woohoo, thanks for the shout out. He's the guy that sent the sticker on the last episode. You're very welcome. Let's go for like one more. Internet user 87 says, do you put a clear coat over the paint? Yeah, in the early days, I thought a lot about doing that, and for a couple of projects, I actually have. So you have to think about, obviously, if I put clear coat over every single item, that's a lot of extra work and some extra expense. So it's all about trade-offs. You got to think like, okay, is this product really gonna get like roughed up? And very little, if maybe nothing of what I sell is gonna get roughed up unless somebody's just insane. So yeah, ultimately I decided not to do clear coat. I mean, I guess it would make stuff slightly shinier sometimes, but it's all about those trade-offs. It's like how much do you really get for how much it really costs? And maybe it'd be like a tiny bit better with clear coat, but I'm doing twice the amount of painting effectively. Ultimately, I just figured out it wasn't worth it. But I mean, people are super happy with the products. You don't have to go crazy. Like you gotta draw a line somewhere. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you're grateful for today. Let me know what small things are bringing you joy. You having a nice coffee this morning? Are you watching it this morning? Comment below if you're watching this during your morning. A lot of people do. I love to read the comments, probably give you a heart, probably give you an upvote. You guys are the best, and I will see you, the Gratitude Gang, on another episode, as I do every day tomorrow. Peace.